What is good, YouTube, man? I'm back. I know I missed yesterday, but hey, let's calm down on that. But yeah, I'm back, man. Hey, somebody said it on the live show that I had with Docs, bro. They said that I need to never not have a day off again because it seems like the only days I'm working is the days that we're active, bro. And literally, I'm up in the morning on my way to work, and the first move of the day is made. So let's talk about it, man. And real quick, again, man, I'm already surpassed 325 subscribers, bro. That is huge. That is huge. I really appreciate that greatly. Like, hey, man, the goal is to get, the goal at the moment is literally just to reach 1100, just so I can go live for y'all, just so I can do these live videos, have these live interactions with you guys, you know, answer your guys' questions live. You feel me? Like that's the goal at the moment. And then from there, we move on. So, but hey, first news of the day, free agency. You know, we're still doing things. I'm interested in knowing maybe I seen that we were pursuing Sheldon Rankins right before he signed with the Jets. So I guess he decided, hey, I'm gonna go to the Jets. I do believe that we were probably going after Sheldon Rankins to get him instead of having to re-sign Jonathan Hankins. So there's a possibility there, but there's not a huge drop-off in Jonathan Hankins and Sheldon Rankins. Really, Sheldon Rankins can just, if there was 100 pass rushing reps, Sheldon Rankins will get there 3 times, and Jonathan Hankins will get there twice. There's not a big drop-off. But yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into this. The news of the day. Breaking news at around, I think it was like 9:30 in the morning, my time. Raiders re-signed, well, not re-signed. The Raiders have officially extended center of the future Andre James to a 3-year, $12.5 million contract with $6 million guaranteed. I love this deal, bro. This shows how much we believe in this kid. This shows how much we actually have a plan. Like, there's an actual plan here. Like, with cutting Hudson, it wasn't like, oh, we just did it because we just wanted to request his release because of him and Gabe being so buddy-buddy. No, there was a plan here. There was a plan that, hey, we made it happen, bro. I like this a lot. Only $6 million guaranteed. That's less than half the contract is guaranteed, which is huge. You don't really see that nowadays. More than 50% of the contract is usually guaranteed nowadays. Hey, but $12.5 million for 3 years is only on average 4.15 or $4.2 million. Bro, I don't believe that this deal has many incentives either. I like this big time. I really like this big time because let's say he has a breakout year this year. Next year, he's only on $4.2 million. Let's say he gets even better the year after that. He's still only on $4.2 million. You don't have to pay him for 3 years, bro. I love this, man. $4 million compared to close to 15 that we were paying for Rodney Hudson. That is a major drop-off in the money department. I like that a lot. Andre James, bro, I said it before in a couple of live shows with Docs. Derek Carr spoke very highly of him. Obviously, Derek Carr is not going to trash on Andre James in front of the media. Obviously, he's not going to do that. But when you hear Derek Carr talk about Rodney Hudson, saying Rodney Hudson is one of the best play callers. He can really scan the field in terms of blitzes and blitz pickups and kind of coverages sometimes, and even stunts, and maybe even stunts, I meant to say. And the times that Andre James started out there, he said that at times it felt like it was the exact same player. You know, that is really huge. And for Andre James to be in Rodney Hudson's back pocket for 2 years straight, just soaking in all the knowledge of what it is to be one of the best centers in the NFL from Rodney Hudson, that is huge. Because we're not talking about he was only in Hudson's back pocket for a year, then forced to play. He had 2 years to soak it all in. And now he's going to be able to get a full training camp. He's going to get the full offseason, full preseason. Then he's going to get to start, man. I really love this. Once again, 3 years, $12.5 million, man. That is huge. That is huge. I like that a lot, man. I like that a lot. Only $6 million guaranteed, bro. I love that. I love that, bro. That is great. That is great value. You're saying that he's under contract for 3 years and you don't have to pay him more than $5 million. I love that contract. Now, moving on from him, I think this move, getting Matt, his name is kind of funny, Matt Dickerson. I like this, man. He has more game time experience than Arden Key. He played in 18 games overall in the last 2 seasons with the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are a playoff team. They know what it is to get in the playoffs. They know how much it takes to get in the playoffs. And let's be honest, Arden Key, we took him with the hopes that he would live to all of his potential, and honestly, he really hasn't. He struggled with weight. He couldn't. It's not like Trent Brown who Trent couldn't stay healthy. Arden Key couldn't stay. He just couldn't stay at a good playing weight. He never could find the balance with his normal, happy, walking around weight outside of football and his football in-game playing weight. He's always been asked to go around from 270 to 275, which is the average defensive end in the NFL. And at times, he would come into camp closer to 255, closer to 265. And 10 pounds less may not seem like a huge deal, but, bro, in the NFL, that is a huge, huge difference. I mean, Matt Dickerson, I like this pickup. I do believe that this is probably Key is on the way out for. We're gonna save around $2 million from Key, and we only spent $1 million on Matt Dickerson. I think it was 1.15 or 1.5, something close to that, or 1.25 1-year deal for a guy who has 18 games starting with a not starting, but 18 games playing with a playoff team. I think he has close to 7 tackles for loss, no sacks. I like this. I like this, man. He's another guy added to Gus Bradley's defensive line. Man, Gus Bradley knows what he's after, bro. He understands that this defense doesn't work as well unless you don't have that crazy pass rush, man. And he's getting it. He's getting it. Now, the not the pass rush, but the defensive line doesn't stop there. The defensive line doesn't stop there. He gets himself a former Charger, Darius Philon. He's a defensive tackle. Another player added to the defensive tackle room, man. That is crazy. He's a pass rushing defensive tackle. He's a guy who's only 286 pounds. Yet again, that is the perfect mold for a Gus Bradley style defensive tackle, man. This defensive tackle room is going to have so much depth and so much competition. Competition brings the best out of guys, man. Think about it. Mo Hurst hasn't had to compete with anybody. Kendall Vickers really didn't have to compete with anybody. He was just getting brought up from the practice squad to start on game day. I mean, none of our guys really had to compete with anybody because we didn't have depth. Now, David Irving is going to have to compete with Mo Hurst, Darius Philon, Kendall Vickers, Solomon Thomas, who else? Quentin Jefferson, bro. This defensive tackle room, and then the 2 guys that we got up today, man, like, this defensive tackle room is gonna be something special. I wouldn't be surprised if honestly our defensive line is our strong suit next year. I'm not lying at all. Our defensive line room has the most competition out of our whole defense, man. Our linebacker room has a bit of competition. Our cornerback room has a bit of competition. Our safety room doesn't have any competition at all at the moment. Our defensive line group has so much competition and so many people they need to compete with for a starting job, bro. You got to think about it. A lot of these guys, yes, they did just sign contracts with us, but those contracts are not guaranteed. Those contracts are all voidable contracts before the season, before the 53-man roster is set. So these guys are all fighting for jobs in the NFL. I really like the fact that Gus Bradley is bringing in a ton of guys that are just going to compete and go after each other's throats, man. I like this, and not in a bad way, in a good way, man. Now, this is a lot of news, man. It's not a lot of news, and honestly, the more that I think about it, I don't know how much more Richard Sherman's price can drop. I don't know how much more his market can drop. I really don't know. I think that Richard Sherman, he's gonna get snagged up by the end of this week. by the end of this week. There's no chance that he doesn't. I know that Malik Hooker still hasn't he still hasn't signed with us. He went to the Cowboys facility, didn't sign a deal. There's always a possibility with that, but I will say that if you do get Malik Hooker, you still get a free safety in the first round. I'm saying maybe trade back with the Browns or trade back with the Ravens. I think that those two teams will be looking to trade up for a linebacker, which there will be a ton of linebackers at pick 17 that either of those teams can go after. I think at pick 17, the Browns can trade up and get a guy like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. The Ravens can come up and get a guy like Zaven Collins, Azeez Ojulari. There's a lot of guys that these two teams can come and pick up, bro. I really think that those two teams we should maybe think of trading back for, but I mean, the draft is a gamble, right? So if you have your prize or you have what you think you want in front of you, the draft is already a gamble. So why take another gamble in trading back and maybe losing the guy that you wanted? Now, do I think that Trayvon Moehrig at 17 would be technically quote-unquote a reach? Yes, I would. But that doesn't mean that he won't turn out to be a good free safety in this system. Now, on paper, yes, it is a reach at 17. We're talking about a safety going in the mid-rounds. I don't think we've seen that since Derwin James, right? And the last person to draft Derwin James was who? Gus Bradley. Now, yeah, man, I'm really excited, bro. I really think that this defense is gonna be further along than we all think. As far as defensive end, I do think that we need to bring in maybe one more guy for depth, because I do honestly think that Arden Key is on his way out. I really do. Arden Key, he could stay. $2 million is not a big price tag at all. But if maybe, I honestly don't think that you can get Vic Beasley on anything lower than $2 million. But man, oh man, I really like this a ton, bro. I really love this a lot. Hopefully we could add a guy like Richard Sherman, but honestly, you only hear good things. I mean, think about it. Gus Bradley, he apparently once he got into the building, his eyes were set on Nicholas Morrow, and there was reports that he really liked the way that Nicholas Morrow played last year, and he overall just liked him as a person and as a player. And he liked him because he knew he would fit in our system. Now, Nicholas Morrow ended up coming back with the Raiders. There's also reports that Gus Bradley and that defensive room that he brought with him has fallen, quote-unquote, in love with Isaiah Johnson. Now, I made a video on Isaiah Johnson before. If you guys want to check that video out, you can. I made a video on Isaiah Johnson before, how better and how much you actually can compare him to a guy like Richard Sherman. Now, I really think that there's a possibility that we just don't get any corners in free agency anymore, and we could just roll out into the season with what we have, and then possibly adding more in the draft. I really think that now our greatest position of need is right tackle, because I really do think that center spot is set, bro. I think that Andre James he obviously he got it on lock. You don't bring in. I really think that they brought Nick Martin in to teach him more, but not to start Nick Martin. They brought him in to teach Andre James, get more knowledge of the game, but Andre James is gonna start. That's my thing. You don't extend somebody for 3 years and you don't start them. Andre James is our starter, bro. I think Denzel Good is our right guard. I think right tackle in the second round is the way to go. That's actually the position that I'm really gonna start maybe making videos about, but really start looking into, because bro, that is our biggest need at the moment besides free safety. But hey, man, it's looking like that's it for today. Real quick, man, let me know where y'all are watching my videos from. That'll be dope to know where all over the world y'all are from, or where all over inside the U.S. y'all are from. Bro, that's dope. I'm here in Oakland, so I'm gonna just put that out there. Yeah, man, I would love to know where you guys are from, where you guys are supporting me from. And man, I'm already at 325 subscribers, on the road to 400, and the main goal is 1,100 subs. But that'll be it for today, Raider Nation. Hopefully there's more news later in the week, later today. I might make another video later today if there's another signing, bro. To be honest, if there's another one, I'm gonna make another video. But yeah, Raider Nation, that'll be it for today. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out.